Okay, so welcome back for NBA 2K14, and now that would be last weekend you saw the 2013-2014 NBA season wrap up. The Dallas Mavericks sweep the Miami Heat and become to get the second championship and make history. That was the first championship with a perfect run. That was game 4. You see the last week the Dallas Mavericks won the championship in the sweep over the Miami Heat, and now they will be wrapping things up for this and could be being ready to go. So, for, we're ready now to start the new series, and now we'll be ready for the second annual NBA 2K14 random team bout. Will Decided is here, so they will returning. The NBA 2K14 series is back again, just like last year. 2K12 was played, but every at the time will be by the point would be every 7 days or 6 days because Saturday or Sunday because since there's a school problem. So for now, there will be the return of NBA 2K14 random team, but I use any real decided real spin the reel. So as you can see, there are 30 teams I'm using with the wheel, the picker. So which team will go for the first pick for the episode 1? And there will be have a Monday, Tuesday special. There's no school tomorrow. Have a special episode, first 3 episodes. So for now, here we go, and let's get started. Start off with the random teams. First pick. What will be the first one? It is gonna be 3, 2, 1, spin! Which will be our first one? Which will be? Oh, it's the San Antonio Spurs. It's the first one. So San Antonio Spurs will be playing with Tim Duncan. So we'll be remove the Spurs hide slice when done. So 29 remaining of this game. 29 teams are here. So the Spurs are get the first episode. And this is again just like last year. Episode 1 they have the championship for this. So this is gonna start off with episode 1. They will be playing with his rival Western Conference Finals. That was last season against Thunder from last year. And now they made for the Western Conference Finals. For now, let's pick the Spurs for the first episode for this game. The San Antonio Spurs. It's the first episode for now. And that will do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. It's time and first episode begins. So episode 1. The random team is the San Antonio Spurs. So time to take care and enjoy. Starts now. Go! Opening of the random teams. Let's get started.
Hi and welcome. I'm Damon Bruce and you're watching 2K Sports. Friday Hoops Fest coming up next. It's going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder up against the San Antonio Spurs. And that's it for us in the studio. To call all the action, let's go out to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. I'll see you again at halftime.
The sparkling Riverwalk, one of the highlights of any visit to San Antonio, under a beautiful starlit sky. Hello, fans. Welcome to this presentation of the NBA Sunday Night Action right here on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan along with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. We'll hear from Doris Burke on the sideline coming up. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. First for the Thunder, the backcourt is Westbrook and Cephalosha. And in the paint, holding down the pivot, a physical and bruising big man at 6'10", Big Perk, Kendrick Perkins. And it's Durant, and it's Ibaka in at the 4. And looking at the Spurs, in the backcourt, Parker and Ginobili. And in the middle, out of Brazil, taken with the 28th pick back in 2008, the 6'11" pivot man, Thiago Splitter. Then there's Kawhi Leonard, and it's Duncan in at the 4 spot.
You know, it wasn't that the Thunder were beating teams last season. Everybody expected that, but it was the way they were blowing out teams on such a regular basis that caught everybody's attention.
And for the Thunder, they were blowing out teams on a regular basis, as you said, Clark, and ended plus 9.2 as the scoring differential in their games. Steve, easily the highest mark in the NBA.
Well, just think about that for a second, Kevin. I mean, that means your average game is almost a double-digit win. And not just wins, we're talking about all games. So that's the result of having an explosive offense depth and a tough defense. This was really a complete team, unfortunately derailed by the Westbrook injury.
Ginobili with the three. And Tim Duncan gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul.
Well, he was boxed out, and when that happens, at some point you have to just turn and get back defensively. That time he went right over the top.
Yeah, but you go straight on the top of another player's back, that's going to be a foul call every time.
And Ibaka sends it in.
Serge Ibaka, of course, known for his shot block. Blocking in defense when he first came into the league, but what I really think is starting to gain attention is his productivity offensively. I mean, last season he had a career high in scoring and field goal percentage.
And Leonard gets it to go.
So yeah, he is so difficult to guard, especially on a shot like that one.
Westbrook with it. He's picked up by Parker. Count that one.
He's one of the best in the league at that. Even with just a tiny sliver, he always seems to find a way to get it up and in.
And going back to Ibaka, Steve, he's a tremendous finisher, as we all know. But he's not just a dunker. This guy has a terrific and much improved shooting touch.
In a lot of ways, he's the X factor for this Thunder team. We know they're going to get scoring from Westbrook and Durant. But when Ibaka is scoring, when he's giving them that third score, this Thunder team is almost unbeatable.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Now, a short time ago, I had a chance to catch up with Greg Popovich. And my first question was, what's the plan against Kevin Durant, probably the premier scorer in the entire league? He said, well, it starts with trying to keep the ball out of his hands, because once he catches it, you're kind of at his mercy. Guys, Durant's so long, he can just shoot over the top. When he does get the ball, expect to see some double teams.
Thank you, Doris. Here's Cephalosha, following the basket by Russell Westbrook. Durant with it. Leonard picks him up. And plenty of contact on the shot. So, 2 free throws coming up.
Often when we think of freakish athleticism in the NBA, it's those with strength and explosiveness like LeBron or Dwight Howard. But Kevin Durant physically is unique in his own right. Sure, he's got a slight build, but his mobility for his height, unparalleled.
You think about the length of Kevin Durant, reach of a center with the fluidity, speed of a ball.
It's such a rare combination, Kevin, and it gives him a huge advantage at both ends of the floor. I mean, defensively, you think about the blocks and the steals and the rebounds, and then offensively, the ability to play above his opponents.
Durant against Leonard, and you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 3.
Exceptional play to take the bump and still get it up and down.
Yeah, way to stay with it and look to finish the play right there.
A very encouraging start to Leonard's career, Kevin. He's a tough defender, an excellent rebounder, and his offensive game expanded pretty quickly his rookie season as well.
I expect his offense to continue growing, too. His huge hands help him in that regard, Steve. Great nose for the ball, high rate of steals, an expert at stripping it away.
And what an amazing run it was for the Spurs last year in the postseason. They swept the Lakers, they survived Golden State, and then dismantled Memphis on their way to the NBA Finals. And then, of course, we're seconds away from another championship banner. Gotta love the use of the bounce pass there. Perfect feed.
Ginobili off a pick from Duncan. And the officials call goaltending, so they'll award the basket.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
Thunder have gotten only 1 of their first 6 shots to fall today. Westbrook with it. Now guarded by Splitter. There's the pass to Cephalosha. And he banks in the layup. Cephalosha's got his first bucket of the night. Welcome back to the Spurs. They look better and better as they went deeper into the playoffs. Clark, Heat were thought to be the heavy favorites at the start of the NBA postseason. But when they met in the finals, thoughts on who would win, I think were pretty much split.
Yeah, and eventually, this was one heck of a series because the Spurs not only had experience and talent, but they had multiple options offensively and did such a terrific job sharing the ball. They took the Miami Heat to the limit, but at the end of the day, it came down to LeBron James and Dwayne Wade rising to the challenge.
Catching up on the changes for Oklahoma City. Nick Collison's checked in for Booker. And Jeremy Lamb subbed in for Serge Ibaka.
Well, he doesn't waste too many of those chances close to the basket.
Westbrook with it. Now McGrady defending. Here's Lamb. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. Lamb's got his second basket of the night. Here's Duncan. And it is flushed down with a nice jam.
Rising high to throw that one down.
Sky high. Fantastic one-hand jam.
Yeah, what a way to wrap up that possession.
Now here's Westbrook. Double team on Westbrook. Durant covered by Duncan. Westbrook against Ginobili. And we're going to have a jump ball. It's tied up there. San Antonio trailing here. Tries from 10. And he can't bank that one in. The basket counts and one. Will go to the line with a chance to make it a three-point play. A different look for Oklahoma City. Steven Jackson checked in for Ginobili. And Corey Joseph subbed in for Tony Parker. For San Antonio, they have gone 1 for 1, making their previous attempt at the line.
Well, this was a very consistent free throw shooting team a year ago. They shot about 79%.
You know, success at the line just became contagious for them. A few guys got on the roll, and it carried over to the rest of the team.
The basket falls, and that's going to be a blocking call.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
And even if it costs them some foul trouble, I mean, they need to start putting some bodies on bodies. Be physical.
Matt Bonner, he's checked in for San Antonio.
You know, with the recent success of Oklahoma City, you forget that in Kevin Durant's first season, they started out going 3-29. And I tell you what, you talk about their success, it's due to the resilience and perseverance and leadership of Kevin Durant and the rest of those guys.
3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Here's McGrady. They swipe it. 3-on-3. And slam dunk by...
Well, you knew he'd win that race.
Definitely. I mean, that's what you call early offense.
McGrady outside for the three, and that one's good. McGrady's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
What a start to this game. The offense is both dominating.
Tell you what, feels like a game on the playground. Forget about defense. Just keep firing.
And that concludes a back-and-forth, high-scoring first quarter of play. It's San Antonio up 3. Live from the AT&T Center in San Antonio, you're watching 2K Sports. And off we go, a close game now starting the second quarter. And taking a look at San Antonio's performance here, Clark and Steve, what have they been doing or not doing?
And that first quarter was all about pace, guys, because this club really got out into transition, and that's how they've built this lead.
They like to play fast, and they're doing a nice job filling the lane.
Thunder trailing by 3.
Coach Popovich was fined last season for sitting out his top players in a nationally televised matchup against the Heat. I certainly understand the league's posture there, and it was a lot said about it. Yet, for a veteran team like the Spurs with championship aspirations, I understand resting key players during the course of the regular season.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Guys, Tony Parker summed up his role this way. Quote, the last 2 or 3 years it's become my team. Papa's challenging me to become the franchise player. On Tony Parker's greater role, Tim Duncan says, quote, the load has switched over to him. It's a big thing, and he's handled it great. Guys, he's delivered. One of the top 10 players in the league last year.
That's right, Doris. Thanks.
Well, Pop... and the team really believe in him. I mean, they trust him, and he's rewarding that trust.
And back to that fine for Popovich, $250,000. Steve, that'll leave a dent.
Yeah, no doubt. But, Popovich enjoys tweaking the league at times. This was clearly an effort to do that. But, look, I think it's good for him to actually kind of let the league know every once in a while that if you're going to give us that kind of schedule, with my older team, I'm going to sit them down once in a while.
This game's going to take a big swing. Clark, if the D continues to clear out like that and give up easy dunks.
Yeah, that's the kind of defense we expect to see in a blowout, Kevin, or even an exhibition game, not a close game like this.
How frustrated Steve is over here.
I just, you know what, Kevin? Come on, Kevin. I just like that he didn't choose to just lay it up there. I mean, he threw it down with force.
And so Jackson nails both of them.
You know, a big part of why the Spurs were so good last season, guys, was that they were able to finish games strong. You think a group of vets might run out of gas, but the opposite was true with this group. They turned it up down the stretch and were one of the most productive teams in the league in terms of fourth quarter points.
Kawhi Leonard's checked in for Steven Jackson. And they double up Jackson. And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back. Here's DeCola on the inbound. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line. Well, Clark, a big part of why the Spurs were so good last year in the fourth was because they had so many options when possessions, Steve, start getting critical and the game is tight.
Well, no question. You got Parker to create off the dribble. You can always throw it into the low post to Duncan. But on top of that, you've got a roster full of guys who understand how to play the game and know how to play each other. Just the experience that this group has gained together over the years, I think allows them to execute under pressure. Terrific play right there. Great strength to finish through the hip.
That's how you do it, the bump and the bucket.
The Spurs making a switch here. Duncan's checked in, and that one's good. Durant.
D there, guys, was pretty much non-existent. I mean, you can't leave a good shooter like that open.
Spurs leading by 3, and DeColo gets to Bellinelli. Good on the three-point shot.
How about the response? Retaliation. Impressive, huh, guys?
I'll say exactly that as well. Nice job to recover those 3 points right away.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Marco Bellinelli. That is his first foul of the game.
Yeah, close, but I didn't think he got on balance quickly enough.
And it's hard to draw charges as quick as players are at this level. That's not an easy bit of work there.
And Oklahoma City making it.
Man, that was unreal. Mark it up. Talk about putting something extra on it. That dunk was way over the top.
Close game or not, Clark, he's going to finish firm when he gets the space.
Still, I mean, it's startling that he'd even try that right now.
Serge Ibaka, born and raised in the Republic of Congo. We've had African-born players in the league for decades, but it seems that as the league has reached out to develop talent there, the numbers are increasing from that part of the world.
Jackson with it, now guarded by DeColo. He feeds it to Land. Leads him in there. And it's Hawkins. Bombs it in.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
Yeah, he's sensing this is a critical time in this game, guys.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Gentlemen, last year, Greg Popovich received $250,000 fine from the league for sitting out his starters in that game against Miami. They cracked down, but it wasn't the first time he rested his top players on a back-to-back. Pop explained the philosophy this way, saying, quote, "We're making a wiser decision and not a macho decision. It's about health and safety of players so that we have a shot at the end of the year. If I was taking my son or daughter to the game, I'd be disappointed. So I understand that perspective. Hopefully, they'll understand my perspective. My priority is the basketball team and what is best for it. Guys, it's always a balancing act."
It's certainly is. Thank you, Doris. And going back to Ibaka and growing talent coming from the continent of Africa. Steve, 1 billion people there.
Soccer is still the biggest sport there, but steadily the NBA has made inroads, providing courts and equipment and coaching around the continent. So you would expect more and more players to come to the league from Africa.
Bang and Mute and Hashim Thabit. We've got some notable players in the league from there.
Great move to the hoop, and I love the finger roll finish.
Parker with the steal. And now Parker pushing it up. Going back to stop him. And it's Manu Ginobili. With the finish. And taking a quick look here at the hustle steps for the Spurs.
Well, I think the defensive aggressiveness on display here has caught him off guard. Playing airtight defense and coming up with the steal.
Yeah, it sure has. And another area where they've been on point is defending the rim, guys. A lot of blocked shots through the first 2 quarters.
And the Thunder with some changes. Cephalosha comes in for Jeremy Lamb. And Russell Westbrook is subbed in for Reggie Jackson. There's 49 seconds left in the first half. And a fast break now for the Spurs. Here's Parker, finished off the break. Parker's got 7 points here in this quarter.
They're getting on the roll inside. Their last few field goals have come from inside the paint area.
The defense has to make an adjustment. They've got to string together some stops, or at the very least, try to force this team into some bad shots.
Back to Durant, kicks it to Cephalosha. The basket good off the assist from Durant. Cephalosha's got 5.
Heads-up play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. And the whistle blows. It'll be on Thiago Splitter. That's his first foul. Jeremy Lamb's checked in for Kevin Durant. Ibaka goes in. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. 9 points in the game so far.
Even with the D lurking, he made it look easy with the soft finger roll.
Parker kicks to Splitter. He's against Perkins. Splitter, that's good. And the Spurs lead by 9. And here's Westbrook. Passes it to Lamb. It's blocked by Duncan. And that does it for the first half of play. Spurs lead by 9. And join us right back here after the break for the start of the second half.
Now, presented by Sprint. From the 2K Sports Studios on a beautiful Sunday night, it's time for the halftime report. San Antonio on top against Oklahoma City. Through 2 quarters, their offense has been simply unstoppable. Bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket, you get it. We've seen Tim Duncan producing at will against the Thunder. He's got 14 points, and his defense has been very solid. He's been bothering shots. He's keeping his hands active, making it difficult for guys to score on him. And still in this, the Thunder hanging around. And nice teamwork offensively, moving the ball around. What a great way to play. A sensational first half for Jeremy Lamb. He's got 11 points, and he's stacking up the assists too, keeping the defense off balance with his passing. And that'll be all for now. Thanks so much for joining us. The third quarter, just about to get underway.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
The second half just about to get going here. An exceptional performance from Tim Duncan.
You know, he spoils us with his performances game in and game out. And so far, just another big scoring night for him.
Typically, when he puts up that many points in the first half, he's going to follow it up with a better second half. We'll see if that happens here. You know, with so many high hopes, the Thunder seem to be everybody's pick to make it to the finals once again. They were so dominant throughout the regular season. Many thought it was a foregone conclusion, but the injury to Russell Westbrook kind of sidetracked all of that.
To the middle, here's Leonard. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. Parker's got 3 assists in the game. Thunder trailing by 8. And here's Westbrook. He's got 7. Outside Durant. Durant drawing the double team. Ibaka, and that one's good. Ibaka's got 11. And back to the Thunder in the postseason. They did well to get by the Rockets after Westbrook injured his knee. But, Steve, they just didn't have the same dynamic punch when they later faced the Grizzlies. Ended up getting bounced out in the second round.
Well, it was a tough matchup for them because the Grizzlies are so good defensively, and when you take Westbrook out of the lineup, all of a sudden it changes everything. I thought Oklahoma City battled, but they just didn't have enough firepower without their point guard.
And goaltending is going to be the call, so they get the basket there anyway.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
That whistle got a big response from this crowd, and it is not a favorable one, let's say.
I'll tell you what, the fans can't believe that they made that call. You know, one thing with Scott Brooks, guys, he's very consistent with his message. You listen in on those timeouts, it's all about getting stops. Defense, 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 and letting their offense come from that.
Durant, the pass to Ibaka. An emphatic alley-oop jam.
Maybe that'll ignite them. I mean, impossible not to get pumped up after that. At least I think that would be the case.
Well, you can see the immediate reaction of the guys on the bench. They are. Look at them. They are pumped up.
Yeah, they're geek. That's what those alley-oops do, though.
He got an advantage there off the pick and took it right in. And 11 points for Tony Parker. And Clark, you mentioned Brooks' single-mindedness. He stayed pretty constant with his rotations, too.
And there's no doubt players appreciate knowing their role, but you know, a lot of critics have been surprised at how Brooks has stuck to his lineups. Some lineups that didn't seem to be all that effective. You know, his usual starting lineup with Cephalosha and Perkins on the floor hasn't been their best in terms of plus-minus, but Brooks very loyal to his starting group.
Tracy McGrady's checked in for San Antonio. The leader and the Spurs scoring again.
They're rolling now. 5 straight hoops to start this quarter.
Here's Durant, and that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. Westbrook's got 6 assists here tonight. San Antonio leading by 7.
And with Harden out of OKC, we knew that Russell Westbrook would have a lot of burden on his shoulders to be a playmaker, and he responded. I think he was very active last year in terms of distributing the ball.
And the Thunder making a switch here. Lamb's checked in. Double team on Westbrook. 6 to shoot. Parker, and the ball's tied up, so we'll have a jump ball. And for Westbrook playing alongside Durant, some have said he needs to be more of a passer, less of a scorer. Clark at that point guard position.
I think that's some of the most misguided criticism that anybody could levy at him. He is a scorer. He is an aggressive attacking guard. I just think he has to play to his strengths, and that's where he is, and that's who he is. And I think he's fantastic. I don't think there's anybody that's more dangerous in the backcourt than Russell Westbrook.
Teardrop shot. Parker against Westbrook. Here's McGrady. Gets the three-pointer to fall. McGrady's got his 3rd bucket of the night.
Well, I think he shot the ball well, guys, but I don't think he shot it enough. The more shots he gets from here on out, the more they'll stretch out this lead.
Hits the bucket. And that's 13 points for Lamb.
And that assist earned him a nod from his teammate after the basket.
And a new group in here for the Thunder. Just over 3.5 minutes through the 3rd quarter of play now.
You know, the Spurs really have a cohesive culture, and part of that is something that Greg Popovich has been able to do, and that's being able to join guys together that normally might not hang out. For instance, you had Matt Bonner taking Steven Jackson out to a Coldplay concert last season. One way to help guys get to know each other off the court, and it helps them on the court.
San Antonio leading by 4. 58 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. And DeColo kicks to McGrady. Jackson, and that's a foul. It's called Antavo Cephalosha. That's his first foul. And back to Popovich and the Spurs, he really makes a point of getting to know his players and have them get to know one another.
That's right, Kevin. He likes to have his players have a sense of perspective about the world. He wants them to know that there are other things going on besides the NBA. In fact, back in 2012, we had the players watching the presidential debates together.
And Jackson gets it to go.
That's his strong suit, the ability to find his way through the defense and finish at the rim.
Here's Ibaka, and that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. 17 points for Serge Ibaka. The Spurs have gone an unbelievable 8 of 8 shooting since halftime. Must have been some kind of pep talk in that locker room. McGrady gets a screen from Diaw. There's the bucket. Good. Diaw's got 5 now. Thunder trailing by 9. Outside Westbrook. Back to Perkins. It's good. And there's a block called on the play. He'll get one free throw. And he's got his first chance at the line here.
Well, and you know, you'll take what you can from him from the foul line. A season ago, he shot in that low 60% range.
You know, yeah, guys, last year was a rough one for him at the stripe. I mean, it's going to be hard for him not to improve on those numbers. They were that bad.
Stolen by Westbrook. Can't hit. The points coming in bunches as we wrap up the third quarter. It's been a good one. Spurs out in front, up 7. And we'll have the start of the fourth quarter for you as soon as we get back from this short break. And the final period of play just about to start. And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for San Antonio.
Well, they're getting into the paint with their penetration, and it's really been key for this club.
Something we've also seen them doing tonight is getting the long ball to go down. Big points from outside.
They're off the pick from Splitter. Parker dishes to Splitter. And it's blocked by Ibaka. Thunder trailing by 7. There's the feed to Durant. No one near him. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. And that's now 11 points for Kevin Durant.
And one thing that Durant has made very clear in his young career is that he's going to be a factor in clutch situations. He wants the ball in his hands with the game on the line.
You know, he's got that lean, thin body and looks a little wispy and carefree out there. But underneath that jersey beats the heart and edge of, I think, a killer in terms of putting the ball in the basket.
Kendrick Perkins, who's checked in for Serge Ibaka. Westbrook double team. Durant, he's covered by Leonard. To the paint, and the basket by Collison.
8 of the last 10 points at that end of the court have been scored on very high percentage shots in the paint.
Man, it's not necessarily strategic, Clark. It's just a matter of playing with more heart. Got to play hard, guys.
Parker, and he connects on a jumper. The screen to the trip.
That was an outstanding pick that gave him the room to bury the jump shot. Underrated, but not undervalued.
Durant kicks to Westbrook. Cephalosha, rejected by Ginobili. And it's out of bounds. Oklahoma City able to retain possession here. We've played just over 1 minute here in the fourth quarter. Perkins, the pass to Durant. Now here's Ginobili. And he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
You know, guys, I would call that methodical but explosive. He waits for the opportunity and then boom, right to the right.
Westbrook with it. Howard. Timeout called by Oklahoma City.
Well, you could see it at the start of the season that Oklahoma City was being driven by falling short in the 2012 finals. Their focus was on being the best team in the West, and they jumped on that goal right from the start.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Over the last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what Scott Brooks said to his team. He loved the work they were doing on the interior, saying, listen, they've got no answer for us inside, and we're not going to let them off the hook now. Keep pounding it down low.
We've gone about a minute and a half into the fourth quarter. Cephalosha kicks to Westbrook. And it's good. Spurs leading by 8. Here's Duncan and the powerful. One-handed slam.
Tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And you know, Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I think he did plenty of damage anyway. It was only with one hand, but he threw it down pretty hard. You know, if you were only looking at the way he's played offensively, you'd think his team would be ahead.
They're off the pick from Splitter. Parker kicks to Splitter. Otto Ginobili on the way. And another basket for San Antonio.
What a display of offense we've seen today, and it's only getting better.
Well, both defenses have been on their heels all day, and it's begun to take its toll.
Down low, and the jam by Kevin Durant.
Boy, the prettiest play in basketball to me. Execute. To perfection.
I don't think you're going to get an argument there. Everybody loves the alley-oop.
Well, unless you're the team getting dunked on, of course.
San Antonio calls timeout. Serge Ibaka has checked in for Oklahoma City. Serge Ibaka. San Antonio leading by 8. Parker dishes to Splitter. And it's going to be a goaltending call here, so they'll count the bucket.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
Oklahoma City's gone 4-6 from outside the arc tonight. It's Durant with the drive. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. And that's 15 points for Kevin Durant.
He is feeling a terrific percentage from the field.
Splitter, that's good.
Now, he's one of the best in the league when it comes to executing that lead pass.
Thunder trailing by 10. Back to Perkins. He dishes it to Westbrook. Some nice passing by Oklahoma City here. Rejected by Ginobili. Shot good by Ibaka. The Spurs have gotten 7 of their 8 shots to fall here in the fourth. A tremendous offensive outburst. Tries to save it. And out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession. Spurs leading by 8. It's Parker with the drive. Gets it to go.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City. They're trailing by 10. 1:39 left in the fourth quarter. One of the top stories here, Tim Duncan getting it done today.
He's really taking it to him inside. They got to find a way to slow him down.
Look at the clock, a little under 3.5 minutes gone here in the fourth. Gets it to go. And it's 13 points for Russell Westbrook.
I love it when a player like this shakes off a poor first half and comes back strong like he has, showing a lot of confidence in his game. Looked to me like the defender didn't get squared up and get his feet set.
Good work by the officials. Nice call. That play can be tough to judge sometimes.
And Leonard backs down. The bucket is good. He'll have a chance for one more. Durant, and so he's picked up his final foul. And he will sit for the rest of this game.
Well, luckily, they've got some really solid backup. You hate to see a player DQ'd, disqualified due to fouls, but they can do a decent job of replacing his production.
Jeremy Lamb's checked in for the Thunder. Westbrook with it. Guarded now by Duncan. Here's Lamb. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. And that's now 17 points for Lamb. Ginobili attacking. Solid play in the low block, and that one's good. And the Spurs lead by 11.
They've had the hotter hand in the first half so far, no question.
Yeah, it's because of all the high percentage shots they've been working for and getting.
The shot's good from Westbrook.
This is a fantastic performance in this half. He didn't play as well in the first, but you just know with this guy, he's always ready to turn it around.
Man, he has been their unquestioned leader offensively this quarter.
The drive by Duncan, and the dunk. Finish it off. Beauty.
Just look at how quickly their lead has grown over the course of the last few possessions.
Boy, they've really saved their best for last, haven't they?
Here's Westbrook. The finger roll finish at the bucket.
I don't know who was supposed to be on him there, but clearly a mistake by the defense.
And Parker with the basket on the assist by Leonard.
Well, that's a wrap, fellas. No way you come back in this one.
Not anymore. Any chance of that happening went out the window a while ago.
Cephalosha drains it from beyond the arc.
A little confusion defensively.
Yeah, you know what? He sent the D a little message with that three.
And they go to the intentional foul.
At the line for two.
First free throw is good, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And so both free throws are good. And it's an 8-point game. Time call here. The Thunder decide to talk it over. They're losing by 8. 27 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. He gets the layup. And the foul call in Kawhi Leonard. That's his first foul. Cephalosha hits both of them. Here's Ginobili. And now we've got the intentional foul. Good on the first, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And a new group in here for the Thunder. Hashim Thabit, who's checked in for Perkins. Howison comes in for Serge Ibaka. Perry Jones, who's checked in for Cephalosha. And Reggie Jackson subbed in for Russell Westbrook. Buries it! Oh, and that cuts the lead to just 5. Here's Joseph. Deflects the pass. It's stolen by Lamb. Here's Jackson. Count it! San Antonio calls timeout. They're up by 3. 9 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. 9 seconds left to play in the final quarter. And an intentional foul there stops the clock.
Yeah, you can't let them pound the ball and just milk those precious seconds away.
No other option here but to foul and hope for a few misses at the line.
Second one is good. Bring both at the line. And it's a 5-point game.
And that ought to do it. I think any chance for a miracle comeback just went out the window with those free throws.
And here's Westbrook from the arc. Trains it from downtown. And so it's San Antonio who split by with the win. And Clark, you know, it was quite a nail-biter.
Yeah, it was tight. Their guys were able to come up with big plays down the stretch, and that's the difference.
Well, that'll do it. For Doris Burke, Steve Curry, Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying so long. We'll see you next time. And as we leave, we give you our Jordan Player of the Game, Tony Parker.
So the first episode is over. So the first episode random picker was the San Antonio Spurs. Take it away, and that will be next episode tomorrow. We will have episode 2 of a random team style. So that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. You know that is what is the NFL Week 10 Berlin Germany matchup here in Germany. Berlin, Daniel Jones of the Indianapolis Colts take on Kirk Cousins of the Atlanta Falcons. And tomorrow we have a NBC Sunday Night Football. No, we got NBC Sunday Night Football here in SoFi Stadium in LA. We got the Aaron Rodgers of the Pittsburgh Steelers take on Justin Hilbert of the Los Angeles Chargers. And time is taking our business. And so long everyone, and peace out. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow for the episode 2 of a random team challenge or something serious. Take care and peace. Have a wonderful and thanks for coming.